So who is the Michael Jordan of hip hop? This seems to be an age-old question, and I'm going to try to answer it to the best of my ability in this video. Because this is such a tough question to answer, I'm going to be pulling from a criteria that's all subjective. I'm pretty sure you all have your own opinion, so please let me know in the comments what you think. For me, there are 4 MCs that have a very strong case for the title. But before we get into it, I want to shout out everybody that voted on the Nas video. I really appreciate the feedback, and the video is on the way. So in order to qualify for my list, you have to be considered an all-time great, meaning anytime someone's referencing a top 5 list, their name is usually always there. And for the MCs I discuss in this video who I don't qualify as Michael Jordan, I will let you know who I do see them as when it comes down to NBA players. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, the first MC that qualifies as the Michael Jordan of hip hop is Biggie. What qualifies Big is that after 25 years of his passing, he is still looked at as the greatest MC of all time amongst many. For anyone else with championship aspirations, he made sure that your reign on the top was short like leprechauns. Now, if you see Biggie as the Michael Jordan of hip hop, I'm not even gonna argue with you. But based on the criteria that I'm going off of, I just see that he is more suited for other NBA players. First, we gotta look at another NBA legend in Isaiah Thomas, whose 2 chips equals up to Biggie's 2 albums. And let's not forget the Bad Boy Pistons, which is equivalent to Bad Boy Records. We can also take a look at Hakeem Olajuwon, a big man with 2 chips. Or we can look at Patrick Ewing, a big man who's representing New York in the 90s. But there's only one big man whose dominance was apparent as soon as he stepped on the court. And his legend is bigger than all those other players I just mentioned, which equals up to Biggie's status. And that would be Shaq. Even Kobe said that if Shaq would have stayed healthy, then they would have had way more rings than what they acquired with the Lakers. And I equate that to Biggie's untimely death. We can only imagine what he could have done in the events that he was still with us. Next up, let's talk about JayZ. JayZ is highly regarded as the GOAT amongst his peers and a lot of fans. His business etiquette is highly praised and influential, and we can equate that to the Jordan brand. Also, if I was going to look at #1 records in the place of classic albums, then his run from 1998 to 2003 is equivalent to Jordan's 6 rings. But I think there are 2 other players that are more suited to represent JayZ. First, let's take a look at LeBron James. Now, LeBron James is highly regarded by many as the GOAT, but when you start peeling back certain layers and looking at little itty bitty details, it starts to put questions in the argument. And if you're someone who looks at Biggie as the Michael Jordan of hip hop, then that's a ghost that JayZ will always be chasing. Nobody will put him above Biggie. Well, at least not a hip hop purist. But I think JayZ is so solidified that we have to start looking at the off-court accolades in order to see which NBA player he compares to, and that would be Magic Johnson. I feel that Magic Johnson and JayZ share a similar aura, whereas no matter what room they walk in, they light it up. Also, JayZ had a great team that helped him reach his success, similar to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and James Worthy for Magic Johnson. And lastly, we gotta take a look at Nas's Ether, which I equate to Magic Johnson announcing his HIV diagnosis. This is something that a lot of people viewed would kill him, but instead, it made him stronger. While we're on the topic of Nas, let's go ahead and roll into that, because he's another candidate who can take the claim as the Michael Jordan of hip hop. First, let's take a look at his body of work. From 2001 to 2002, Nas dropped 3 classic records. And recently, from 2020 to 2021, he dropped another 3 dope projects. It's too early to say if these albums are classic, but they're definitely on their way. Well, at least 2 of them are. With those 2 3-peats in his discography, we can look at that as the equivalent of Michael Jordan's 2 3-peats with the Chicago Bulls. And although it's been heavily documented that Nas is my favorite MC of all time, I do feel that there is a different criteria of NBA player that he is more suited for. We have to take a look at the quiet killers, the quiet assassins, the Kawhi Leonards in the game, the Giannis Antetokounmpos in the game. There are guys in the game that are so undeniable, but they get no coverage because they don't play by the rules. These are people who are not gonna stack all-stars on a team just so they can guarantee themselves a chip. The last thing they want to do is put themselves next to the guy they should be competing against, because if they think you're the greatest, then I need to beat you to let them know that you're not. And the most iconic quiet assassin in NBA history has to be Tim Duncan. Arguably the best power forward in the game. He didn't cater to the media, he just got it done on some silent murder type shit. Alright, so here we are. Who is the Michael Jordan of hip hop? This person would have had to have been dominant in the game, challenge your peers, grab the world's attention, expand your brand, push your teammates to success, and do it all with no fucks given. And that would be Tupac. The way Tupac's peers talked about him in the studio, he was always on 10. He was always recording, similar to Michael Jordan. The dedication in his workouts, the dedication how he would push his team to be successful. It's the 90s. They both had the media. The media was just gravitating towards these two individuals. As a kid growing up in the 90s, when it came down to basketball and hip hop, there were no other individuals bigger than these two. Tupac was also an actor, so he was able to expand his brand outside the scope of hip hop. I equate this to what Michael Jordan did with Nike in those damn Wheaties commercials. Tupac challenged all of his peers, whether it's Big, Nas, Jay, everybody was on the chopping block. And if you know the Jordan era, nobody was able to win in the Jordan era. It was complete and total dominance. And I'm talking 90s Jordan, so for all you gonna comment, oh, he didn't win in the 80s, miss me with that shit. Pac had a big mouth, Jordan had a big mouth. And if we look at one of the top MCs of today, it's pretty clear who he mirrors the most. Damn, so is Kendrick Lamar the LeBron James of hip hop? I don't know, that's another video. Before all of that, let me know what you think about this video. Who do you think is the Michael Jordan of hip hop? Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.